Hello everybody, Garry Pearce here. Just giving my take and my views on the situation that we find ourselves all in relation to lockdown. How has lockdown been for me and how have I been spending my time? Well, at first I found it extremely difficult. First few days, then we settled into the routine of doing, like everyone else, all those jobs that you've never got round to doing. Did all of those. Fortunately, my daughter moved house just prior to the lockdown, so I've been helping her with a fair bit of DIY painting and decorating. So yeah, not my forte at all really, but it's been helping massively with filling up the days, and also the group, the walking football group, the Tameside Striders, the quizzes 3 times a week. We're having great fun and a bit of banter with that. So yeah, that's been massively helping me. I mean, I think that most sports and activities and pastimes, they very much mirror the national situation. So the end, yes, it is in sight. I believe we'll be around about September time, maybe, because I think that the kids and the colleges and everything will all want to be back then, having lost so much schooling this year. So hopefully on the back of that, we can start seeing some return to the walking football that we know and love. Obviously, it'll have ramifications for some older people because they either sadly may not recover, or they may in fact be put off by the socialising again. So we may lose 1 or 2 people, and I think that, again, that will apply to all activities, not just walking football, but perhaps more so at the older age end, who are still deemed to be more vulnerable. So my work background, I'm now retired, and yes, I did enjoy my work, but I do prefer retirement. The last 30 years of my life was spent in the cardboard packaging industry, and that's corrugated board. Prior to that, I worked in licensed betting offices, and prior to that I worked at the local authority in St Helens in the housing department. So yeah, all my jobs have been pretty good. I've enjoyed them, particularly the last one, which was the cardboard box situation. It's not exactly cutting edge, but virtually everything comes in a cardboard box, or the things that make the thing come in a cardboard box. So lots and lots of work, lots of ongoing, very environmentally friendly product, and I enjoyed it. Retirement's been great. It was a little bit adjustment period, as it is for most people, but the walking football has helped me massively. I'm involved in junior football as well, and I'm also involved with Manchester County FA, and I'm also helping out with the W.F.G, running some referees courses. So yeah, I've been prior to lockdown, I was reasonably busy. Yeah, I was up until recently running 3 times a week till I sustained a knee twist, and it's limited me a little bit. It's not too bad, but it does take about a week to recover. So my runs have gone from 3 times a week down to 1. I've done a couple of those online exercise classes, and some of them are particularly aimed at older people, and so they are relatively well, they're gentle really, but if you put some effort in, then yeah, I do find that I work up a sweat on most of the sessions. So yeah, I enjoy them, and walking as well, like the rest of us. I know some of the guys are cycling. Unfortunately, I don't own a bike, but I enjoy the walking, and I enjoy the running. I do like to run. Road running, even solitary, is good. I far rather better to run with colleagues or people, but yeah, road running is what I quite enjoy once I get into it. So yeah, tomorrow morning or Sunday at the latest, I'll be out there doing a 5 or 6k just to keep warm, and then probably a few online classes again next week. Well, restriction wise, obviously the main one is our walking football, and well, any other. I used to go to the gym as well. Obviously that's been curtailed, and socialise quite a lot, like the most of us do. Restaurants, theatres, etc. So they're all hard to take really. Overall, it's the hardest one, I must say, because it takes up most of my time in retirement, is walking football. So it's probably not a surprise to say that, yeah, that's been the hardest thing for me to take, and the rest of us too, I would imagine. What do I miss most about walking football? Well, I'm probably the same as everybody else, really. Other than the actual football itself, we miss the camaraderie, we miss the brew room, we miss the banter. And although we all keep in touch on social media, it's not quite the same as it has been there in person with each other and enjoying it and enjoying the crack. So yeah, it's good. That's one thing I do miss, and the sooner we can get back to at least some degree of normality, then the better, I think. If I could change one thing about the game, what would it be? It's a difficult one, this, because although I'm involved with the Tameside Straders, most people who know within the group will know that I spend 90% at least of my time as refereeing, and the rules are a mishmash. The rules are a mishmash, and it needs standardising. Although we don't play football as football, we play walking football, and in that way we should mirror the FA and FIFA, in that we should all have one set of rules and we should all stick to it. The variations in the rules are usually minor, but there are some that are just ridiculous, as in the introduction, or the recent try to introduce, a walking up penalty, which is absolutely ludicrous. And people are just deviated from the rules for the sake of it, from my way of thinking, and that just shouldn't be the case. Plethora of rules we've got at the moment, and standardise everything so that everyone's on the same page with it. So that would be, again, from a refereeing perspective, the way I would like to go. And now again, there's been some recent advice from the FA with regards to grassroots football, in that a coach can have 5 players with him, i.e. 6 people maximum in coaching and training. And, you know, as I said earlier on in the interview there, I think that we'll be go along a similar line when we get back together with smaller groups and smaller sessions, maybe hopefully spread out over a little bit longer time so everybody can have a go. But I do think it will impact us in the short term. In the longer term, hopefully we'll get back to some degree of normality. But whether that'll be September, as I would like, or later than that, I don't really know. I don't think we'll get the all clear, or the full all clear, until at least September, but maybe even later than that. And then, as we've already touched upon, some of the guys may not be happy with that at all anyway. So yes, it will impact on us, and we're looking in a crystal ball to some degree, but nonetheless, I'm convinced that normal will return at some stage, and hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later, but who knows at the moment. I've only ever owned one DVD in my whole life. I don't have a DVD player, but I do have a CD player, and a large collection of CDs. A guy called Luke Coombs, you'll hear him on the radio, but if you don't like country, then you probably won't tune into him. The guy's a massive star in America, and his CDs are really good. His tunes are good as well. Good solid pop country stuff, which I like to pop in when I'm driving along, which don't do very much these days, but nonetheless. Films, don't bother much with films really. I like the odd film, but I'm not that fussed about it, and I genuinely cannot remember the last time I went to the cinema. I have no idea what the last film I saw at the cinema was. Didn't see that. My favourite holiday destination, I've been lucky, I've been all over not all over the world, but a good way around the world. Lots of different places. Always enjoyed the United States because of its variety. All the way up from Florida and Texas and Tennessee and California and New York, etc. So yeah, the United States, still a lot to see, and that's where I like to go. Something of a nightmare to get in and out of the place because of the customs, etc. But once you're there, it's a great place, and to use an old cliche, you do feel a lot thinner because there are some guys over there that have had a few too many nuggets or McDonald's. Anyway, yeah, it's good stuff. Do you know, I've been a bit surprised about how calm and relatively laid back about it I have. At first I was a little bit edgy, but now I've settled into it like most of us have, and I don't really feel that I can't cope with it as it is. Obviously I prefer things to get back the way they were, back to playing and refereeing, but at the moment I'm coping with it, and yeah, I've found that I can be a lot calmer, and it's so in that way at least it's helped. But But yeah, that's me really. Thanks for listening or watching, and hopefully we'll all see each other soon. Bye for now.